Good morning students. I hope you all are doing well. So today's video is for both computer science as well as informatics practices students. So today we are going to cover chapter 1 computer science computer system. Let's get started with the video. What do you mean by computer? A computer is an electronic device under the control of instruction stored in its memory that can accept data, that is input, process the data according to specified rules on a processor and produces information, that is output, and store the information for future use. So let us understand what this definition is trying to say. So we all know computer is an electronic device on an electronical machine which works under the control of instruction stored in its memory. A computer is a predefined machine. It has certain commands or instruction inside its memory according to which this electronic device works. That can accept data. We give input to the data. That data is being processed according to the specified rules. That data is processed according to the specified rule means it works according what you want it to do on a processor that is also called as CPU, and produces information and gives you information and store that information, and it can also store that information for future use. For example, you give the input that is simply, let's take a simplest example, that is you want to perform addition of two numbers, say 100 plus 200. So that is an input. Now you want the computer to perform addition operation. So it processes the addition. And what is addition? Addition is the specified rule, right? If you ask it to multiply 100 and 200, then that will be the specified rule on a processor that is done in CPU and produces information. It produces the information that is output, and it may store the information that can be used for future. I hope you have understood the basic definition of computer. Now let us understand what is data and information. You have all heard these two terms used very frequently. Now let us understand what does it mean. So data are raw numbers or raw findings which by themselves are limited value. Information is a data that has been converted into a meaningful and useful context. So what is data? Data is any information which does not have any meaning. And information, when you provide meaning to that data, that raw material, it becomes a meaningful and useful context. For example, if I say D, T, A, does I write D, T, A. Does it make any sense? No. That is a raw data. Now if I rearrange it, that is D, A, T, A, data. Now it's become a meaningful word which has some meaning and useful context. Then that becomes the information. Another example will be cat is banana eating. So I have four different words: banana, cat, is eating. So that doesn't make any sense if I use them individually. But if I use them in a sentence, the cat is eating banana, then it becomes information because it is meaningful and useful context. So computers are being used extensively nowadays in everyday life. We are using computers in everyday life, that is in the form of laptop, desktop, smartphone, gadgets, etc. Now what are various advantages of computer? Computer provide a speed. That means they work on an exceptionally, or you can say on a very high speed as compared to human beings. Accuracy. They are accurate. They never perform any mistakes. Even if they perform any mistake, that is because user has given wrong instructions or input to the computer. Huge storage. You know that today's computer come with a large storage, maybe it be in MB, KB, GB, TB, yottabyte, etc. Versatility. Versatility means computers can be used in various fields and in various forms. Like it can be used in hospitals, schools, colleges, offices, etc. Tirelessness means computer never get tired. Disadvantages of computer: data security issue. Like computer stores a lot of data, right? It also stores very much sensitive data like our Aadhaar card information or banking information. So there is always a risk to our security, right? Next is cybercrime. Cybercrimes include bullying, hacking, or child pornographies, etc. These are the cyber crimes which can be performed on computer or internet. Then comes health risk. Using a lot of computer can result into obesity, weakening of eyes, headache, depression, etc. Bad impact on environment if not properly disposed of. If it is not properly disposed of, it will stay in the environment and it will causes various kind of pollution like soil pollution. If burnt, it can cause air pollution, etc. So it causes an adverse effect to the environment. Next, we have functions of computer system. Any digital computer performs mainly 5 functions. Any type of computer, these are the 5 functions which they perform. They take data as input, right? They stores the data. Then they process the stored data. Then they generate the output and control all of the above steps. For any basic computer, these are the 5 steps that take place. Computer take the input, stores that input, processes that stored data and gives the output and control all the above steps. We will understand this in detail further, that how it is done. Now we all know computer system consists of hardware and software. We all know what a hardware is. The term hardware refers to mechanical device that makes up a computer. Computer hardware consists of interconnected electronic device. Any electronic devices which we use in a computer or in working of computer or any mechanical device constitutes to be a hardware. Examples of hardware are CPU, keyboard, mouse, hard disk, etc. And what is a software? A set of instructions that drives computer to do stipulated tasks is called a program. A set of instructions. What is a program? A program is a set of instructions. So, software instructions are programmed in a computer language, translated into a machine language and executed by the computer. So basically software is anything in the computer that is a set of instruction, and these set of instruction are called as program, that how a computer is instructed to work. So there are basically 2 types of software, system software and application software. These 2 types of software, and there is one more, utility software, which we will be discussing in coming videos. Now this is the components of computer system under their interconnection. This is the block diagram of computer by von Neumann. Von Neumann was the first one to give us the exact computer architecture, or you can say the most famous computer architecture was given by von Neumann. So in this you can see there is an input device, right? Then there is CPU, that is central processing unit, and then there is an output. In CPU you can see there are 2 units, microprocessor unit, and it constitutes of control unit and arithmetic or logical unit, and then we have a memory unit. Now how does this computer, if we try to understand how the computer work using this diagram, let us understand. As you can see here, microprocessor unit is equal to CU plus ALU, that is control unit and arithmetical and logical unit. This is what it says. CPU is equal to memory unit plus microprocessor unit, and memory unit consists of primary memory and secondary memory. Now how does the control flow, or how does the data flows inside the computer and it is processed? Let us see that. So what happens, for example, if I want to perform a simple mathematical calculation, that is 4 plus 5, say 4 plus 5, okay. Our basic task is to understand how the computer works. So for example, I have given the data, that is 2 plus 7. Okay, so this is the input which I have provided. Now this input goes and stores into the memory unit. Where it goes into the memory unit and gets stored. Why it goes into the memory? Because CPU is a very busy part of the computer. It is always performing some or the other task. So when you give an input that is 2 plus 7, it is not necessary that CPU is empty or is free, right? So the input is stored into the memory unit. When the CPU is available for the task, when the CPU is free, then it calls the input that is 2 plus 7 into the arithmetic and logical unit. Why in arithmetic and logical unit? Because it is an arithmetic problem, right? So arithmetic problem gives the solution, and it gives the solution as 9, and it again stores the information into the memory unit. From this memory unit, the output devices takes the data and it is shown to the screen, and I know you can guess the output will be 9. I hope you have understand. Now what is the task of control unit? All this flow of task, all this flow of activities is controlled by control unit. Control unit controls all the activities which are taking place in the computer system. I hope you understand how the computer works and what is the role of memory unit. Now let's come to the next slide. Now we will discuss these components one by one. First, we are going to discuss inputs and output unit. Now what is an input unit? A device through which data and program from the outside world enters into the computer system. That is an input unit. A device, for example, keyboard, mouse, etc. A device. And what is output unit? A device through which result is stored in the computer memory and are made available to the outside world to the user is called output unit. In previous example, 2 plus 7 was an input which was given by using input unit or input device, and the result 9 was shown by output unit or output device. Now there are various input devices which we are going to study. First is keyboard. Keyboard, we all know, it is an input device that sends data in the computer, that is used to send data in the computer. That is, data sent depends on the key pressed by the user. The keys which I press, the data is sent to the computer, right? For example, if I press COMPUTER, so it will be read as computer by the computer. Mouse. A mouse is a small handled input device which controls the cursor. Like this is the cursor and I am controlling it using a mouse. In the graphical user interface. Graphical user interface means what you are seeing on the screen in the graphic. Graphic includes text or images, videos, etc. It can move and select text, like I am selecting this text using the mouse, right? It can select the folders on computer and accordingly, right? Next is scanner. Now scanner is an optically reads the document. It converts basically the scanner converts the soft copy into the hard copy. Hard copy into the soft copy, like file or image. For example, you have drawn an image on a computer, on your sheet. You have drawn an image on your sheet and you want to save it into computer. So you can use the scanner, in which it works as a photocopy machine in which you keep the image and then that will be shifted to the computer. So file or image and then changes it into digital signal and sends to the computer. Next come OMR. Now what is OMR? It stands for optical mark recognition reader or reader. It is used to read marks on documents and send them to the computer. This the example of this is you must have appeared for some or the other competition exams where you have MCQs and you mark circles on your answer sheet. So that is an OMR sheet which is directly being read by the computer and marks are allotted to you. Some other input devices as OCR. OCR stands for optical character recognition. It is an input device which reads printed text and sends that to the computer. It is easy to understand. It reads the printed text and sends to the computer. MICR, that is magnetic ink character reader, is an input device which generally finds application is bank to process the checks. It is used in banks for reading the information from the checks. Microphones are basically mic or the audio devices that gives the input source to the computer and sends the same to the computer. Webcam is used to capture the images to a computer or for live streaming in real time. Like we have our online Zoom classes, so it is done by using webcam. Then we have graphics tablet. Graphics tablet, the input device is used to draw using hand. These are digital drawing boards in which you can draw using a stylus. Then comes the trackball. Trackball are basically upside down mouse. They have a ball on upside of their device, and it's a cursor control device. It works just like a mouse, and it is mostly used in playing games. Then we have barcode reader. It is used to read the barcodes of various items. You can see them in malls and in your departmental stores. Right, next is gamepad, also known as joypad, is the input control for video games. So these are various input devices. Now we are going to study various output devices. So a monitor is an output device. You are seeing this video on a monitor or a screen, monitor on a desktop or a screen of your mobile. So that is an output device. Then we have speakers. Speakers receive sound signals from computer. So this receives sound signal from a computer and then plays that sound signal, and thus we hear songs, right? You must be hearing my audio via speaker. So that is an output device. Then we have projectors. Projectors you might have seen in your schools or in your in some of the presentations or seminars. So they basically gets the data from the computer and displays or project the same information onto a screen or a wall. It is like a monitor only, but it displays the content of the computer on a bigger screen, maybe on a wall or a screen. Projector cannot directly accept data from a user and send that data to another device. It does not directly select it is not a monitor, but it acts like a monitor for viewing of large audience. Then we have printer. Printer, you all know, is a device that accepts the text and graphic output from a computer and transfer the information to paper, usually to standard size sheets of paper. We all have used printer. So printer is used for printing any of the information on the computer to in a hard copy, that is on a page. Next, there are some devices which work as both input and output devices. So input output device is capable of receiving data from user or another device and also sending data. It receives the data as well as sends the data to another devices or computer. So some of the examples are USB drive. USB drive, or you can say as a pen drive or a flash stick. All of you must have used a pen drive for sharing your ebooks, for sharing songs, movies, etc. So you can save the data in the pen drive, receive or save the data from a computer as an input, and it can also send data to computer and other devices. Next is facsimile. Facsimile. What is facsimile or a fax machine? It is a scanner which acts as an input device, and it also has a small printer to provide you an output. It is a fax machine plus printer. Next we have modems. Modems most of us have at our home. These are used basically for working of our internet or Wi-Fi at our home. So what they do, they transmit and receive data from one computer to another or other devices using telephone lines, right? Then we have CD read-write drives and DVD read-write drives. So these are drives which can read. RW stand for read and write. So these are CD which are specially designed for reading the data. Reading means taking input into the CD, and write means to give, read and write. So read means reading the data, that means getting the data, and writing means to write the data, right? So receives data from a computer as input to copy onto and save into writable CD or DVD. We also use CDs or DVD to transfer data to a computer. So basically these are similar as USB drives, which can be used for reading, that is taking the input, and reading, that means taking the output, and writing, that means taking the input. Next comes touchscreen. Touchscreen we all are very familiar with. Most of the phones or smartphones today are touchscreen. So touchscreen is both input and output device. How they work is input and output. By touching the screen, input is provided, and by being a screen, it is used as an output device. When you touch the screen, it opens the next window or the app which you want to open. And why is it an output device? Because it is a screen and you are seeing it. So it is also an output device. Then headset comes with speakers as well as microphones. So they work both as input and output device. Then comes control processing unit, that is CPU. Now this is the most important part of a component for components of computer. It is so what is CPU? CPU is an electronic circuitry of a computer. That means it is electric circuit that carries out actual processing. The main processing or the main task, जो भी आप काम दे रहे हो, जो काम perform हो रहा है, that is being done by CPU and usually referred as brain of the computer. It is also called as a processor. Physically, a CPU can be placed on one or more microchips called integrated circuits. The ICs comprises of semiconductor material. From childhood, we have learned that big box on a desktop is a CPU. But no, it is not the reality. CPU is basically a small microchip. It is a small microchip that is being inserted. It is a small microchip that is being inserted on a motherboard, and that is main CPU that perform all the tasks, right? So the ICs comprise of semiconductor material. These are the integrated circuits and they are made up of semiconductor material. CPU is given instructions and data through program. The CPU then fetches the program and data from the memory and performs arithmetic and logical operation as per given instructions. Basically, CPU is given instruction. We all know, we all give instruction to computer and then it performs the task. But how these instructions are given? These instructions are given in the form of program. Program, or basically you can say a set of programs, is basically a set of instruction. So these instructions are given to the CPU by using program, that is set of instruction. The CPU, then how CPU performs? CPU fetch, that means it takes the program and data from the memory and performs the arithmetic and logical operation as per the instruction. It processes as per the instruction given to it. Next, while processing, CPU stores the data as well as instruction in its local memory called registers. Now what are registers? Registers are a part of CPU chip. It is a part in a CPU. They are limited in size and number. Different registers are used for storing data, instruction or intermediate result. Registers are the storing space in the CPU which can be used for storing certain data, right? So registers are basically a storing space in CPU for storing some special instructions, right? Then there are other parts of the CPU, that is ALU and CU. Now ALU, all know, arithmetic logical unit. It is used for performing arithmetic and logical operations. And CU controls sequential instructions execution. CU, that is control unit, it controls all the working, whether the things are going correct or not in the CPU, and interprets the instruction. Also it interprets. Interprets means understand and perform, and understand and do what is being asked, and guides data flow, and it also tells how the data should flow or how the things should be done in the computer memory. ALU and input or output devices, and all these things are controlled by CU. CPU is also popularly known as a microprocessor. Next comes the memory unit. Now what is memory unit? A computer system, we all know computer understands the language of 0 and 1. We are all familiar with it. If I write 2 plus 2, computer first converts it into binary language, that is zeros and 1, and then performs the task. So these zeros and ones are called as bits. If we further group these bits, that is, if we put together 4 bits, then it becomes a nibble. For example, if I write any combination of 4 bits, then it becomes a nibble. And if I write 2 nibble together, that means 8 bit, then it becomes a byte. For example, 01000110. So this is an example of byte. So all the information is stored in the computer in the form of zeros and ones, which are called as bits. 4 bits constitute a nibble and 8 bits constitute a byte. As you can see in this diagram, this is the content. For example, 10101010, this is the content, that is any information provided by the user which is being converted into zeros and one, and this is being stored in the bit position. They are given a position, right? An address is assigned to them, that ये वाली bit यहाँ पे stored है, ये वाली bit 1 bit second position पे stored है. So there is a proper addressing given to them. This is how the bits are stored in the memory, by giving a proper address. Now these are various units of memory, right? We all store data. We all know what is a data and how big a data is, how we measure data. For example, milk is measured in liters, right? And your vegetables are measured in kg. So how you measure memory? कितनी memory है? We certainly ask, कितनी memory है? कितनी मेमोरी की वीडियो है, सॉरी कितने डेटा लगेगा उस मेमोरी में, राइट? वी काइंड ऑफ यूज दिस लैंग्वेज. सो वी ऑल आर फेमिलियर दैट 1 KB, राइट? दिस वीडियो इज ऑफ 2 KB, दिस वीडियो इज ऑफ 12 MB. oh, it's very large data to download from my data card and all that. So this is the units of memory. So we all know KB, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. So we generally deal with KB, MB and GB in our daily life, and sometimes TB. So this is the conversion. That means 1 KB consists of 1024 bytes. And now what is bytes? We have studied earlier that 8 bits together constitute byte. So 1 KB has 1024 bytes, 1 MB has 1024 KB, 1 GB has 1024 MB of data. This is the conversion. Like we do conversions in mathematics, like 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter. Similarly, this conversion is done in the case of memory also in computers. There are certain numericals which are being sometime asked on this topic. So I will discuss those numerical in the coming videos. So this was all about the first part, and this chapter will be continued in the next coming videos. If you have any doubt, keep the doubts with you, and we will discuss them in the doubt session. And even if you don't have any doubt, please attend the doubt session, so that we will discuss other students' doubt, and it will clear your concepts in a better way. Thank you.